was just about being brash and loud and just freedom of expression. Doing something people hadn't seen before. Putting a brick wall on a board and making it look cool. Putting polka dots and putting stripes that look like juicy fruit gum. They're all individual works of art. Everyone's got its own little soul to itself. That's what you get when you buy these boards, is you're tapping into all of that.
This film just made me want to go buy a really cool surfboard. I've tried surfing before. I was horrible at it, but now I just want one for the aesthetic purpose because it's just awesome to look at. So why make a film about a group of surfboard collectors? What drew you to this story?
I had a friend that I worked with that we connected through the surfing landscape. We'd go surfing after work, etc. And I went over to his apartment one day and he had 35, 40 boards. And I was just thinking, this is excessive. Why do you have so many in your small apartment? What are you doing? And then he broke them out and he showed them to me. He showed me the artwork, the designs, the stories behind them. And I just really found it so interesting. And then we went to a larger swap meet community type thing. And I couldn't believe how many people were involved in it. All ages, all different types of boards. So that was pretty much it.
How did you find your subjects for the film, since they were kind of from all over the US?
The first guy that we introduced, Robert, who was kind of our main skeleton of the narrative, he was my conduit to everyone else. He was the guy that I had initially worked with. And from there, I had kind of hung out with him and went to different swap meets and met different people. And I wanted to show more of a breadth of collectors. However, it's tough to get a lot of people on board and line up schedules and stuff like that. So the people we selected were just, I wanted a nice variety from someone who just kind of did it for one reason and then something completely different. And the three were basically the three that we could just get at the time, but I thought they were all pretty, well diverse in their reasons for collecting.
What is the coolest surfboard collecting story that you have come across besides the ones that were shown in the films?
Oh God, I don't know. There's so many of them. I don't really have one specific. I always hear them from other people. The football story about the guy that we have in the film, where his son had played football and had put the board in the attic. And those are the ones you want to find, really. Those are the boards that's pretty common, whether it's a football injury or someone who bought it on a vacation and took it back home and never used it and it just sat in the garage. Those are the ones you want to find. So any story like that, I think you really want to hear.
There was a point made in the beginning of your film that said surfing has sort of dulled out in terms of the use of more plain colors, more black wetsuits. And then the entire rest of the film proceeds to show very vibrant colors and footage. So I thought that was a really cool choice. Was that always your intention from the beginning of the creation of the film?
When we first started making this thing, I actually wanted to shoot in the middle of the day, it was high noon, bright light, let's get stuff out there. So it just creates this really bright, vibrant vibe throughout. And that was actually something we did plan on doing.
What did you discover about the sense of community within surfers and surfboard collectors alike?
I really found out that it doesn't really matter where you come from or your background and even your passion. Some guys like boards that are pristine and flawless, and some guys like boards that are completely dinged up and have more of a story behind them, but they can all play on the same landscape. And I really enjoy that idea transcending into life, because not just in that community, if you can play that role forward, it makes it easier to connect with people, period.
My final question for you. So since the title of your film is Collectors Volume 1, can we expect a Volume 2, whether it be about surfboards or some other type of collectible?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a working title. We kept it, but yes, absolutely. There's going to be more to come for sure.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
If you have a passion to go make film, it doesn't matter what it is, just go do it. Have fun with it. And that's what it's about.
Certain surfboards are for a certain type of people. Is that right?
Yeah, surfboards are for everyone, not just a certain type of people, I would say. Everyone needs one.
We're curious, Tony. Have you started collecting surfboards now?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I actually I think when I started this thing, I maybe had 4 or 5 surfboards, and I'm up to 16 now at this point.
Can you tell us what is the most expensive surfboard any of those collectors in your film owns?
I saw boards go from anywhere between 2,500 to 10,000 US dollars. And I saw some guys that said, I would never sell this board. It doesn't matter how much money you want to give me. I would never sell it. So it just really is the price people will pay for their own board.
Did you capture everything you wanted on film?
I work as an editor, so I really enjoyed the flipping of stories and, trying and throwing every different possible thing you can at it and really exploring it a lot. I really, really enjoy that. So for me, it's really just stepping away from it and saying it's done. I think I'm still like pushing out different versions as we speak. So, it's hard. It's tough.
What came first? Wanting to shoot about surfboard collectors or wanting to make a great surf story?
It was such a unique story when I found it, and I just really wanted to share it with people because I was just blown away by the community and everything about it. So for me, I just felt like, I would love for someone else to edit it and someone else to shoot it with me, but I couldn't find anyone to do it. So I just kind of put it out there myself because I wanted to do it and I had such close access to do it. So that was the main reason.
We're curious, how did you fund your film?
Yeah, I self-funded my film. I tried to pull as many strings as I could to get things mixed and colored and all that type of stuff. But I was working during the day, and then I'd come home and work and edit, and or work Saturday and Sunday to shoot something. So it's definitely hard work, and I just again felt like I wanted to tell the story. So you just kind of do it.
What is it about surfing? Can you explain what you think the mystique is, and why do you think it captures people around the world?
The connection with nature is wonderful. I also really enjoy everyone's individual expression through surfing. It doesn't matter, some people surf one way versus another. Everyone's out there doing their thing. And I think that's the special part about it as well.
Do you think there's anything in the surf world that has not been covered in film and should be covered?
I think everything should be covered. It doesn't matter. Let's tell all types of stories, right? I think everyone loves a good story. So if there's one to tell, let's go tell it.
This final question is from our programming team. We do ask it of every filmmaker that comes across our stage. What did you learn about yourself during the making of this film?
I really found out as a filmmaker, I love telling stories that bring people together, and that's all about community. I think I really enjoy telling that type of vibe story, no matter what vein it is, whether it's through collecting or through something else. I think that's what I learned during this process.